Hello, I'm going to be talking about the socioeconomic inequalities within the United States and how these interfere with schooling and education. So socioeconomic inequality is defined as the disparities in the distribution of economic assets and income, as well as between the overall quality and luxury of each person's existence within a society. So it's basically the difference in means of living between what we could consider upper to middle class or middle to lower class or upper to lower class. So it's an economic inequality that is caused by unequal accumulation of wealth. A social inequality is caused by lack of wealth in specific areas, causing people from obtaining the same things as those who are wealthy. So depending on where you live or your income, it's the difference of yours and those around you. So the different trends across the United States. So in recent decades, we've seen the growth in income tilt more towards the wealthier households as opposed to those less wealthy. So that's where we get the saying that the rich become richer and the poor become poorer. What we consider to be the middle class in today's day is now shrinking, and the income inequality has increased in the United States since the 1980s. So basically, we're seeing much more inequality within wealth since that time period. So then I put a little chart down here. So you can see at the bottom 1970 compared to 2000s compared to 2018, which is like our most recent study. And right here we can see the decline in middle class income. So you may be wondering why socioeconomic inequality matters to you and to those around you. It's very important because those with lower income may experience inequalities that can negatively affect their political influence, which matters to everybody and affects everybody around us. It can negatively affect their geographic segregation based on income, and it affects our overall economic growth. So the issue of inequality not only affects somebody's quality of life, but their financial security, their perception of social status and education. So how they view themselves, how financially secure they feel, and within the schooling system, which we'll talk more about. Those with low socioeconomic status may experience a lower educational opportunity and achievement, poor health, and it can even affect mental health. Those with the lower status we've seen have much poorer mental health. So we'll be talking about the socioeconomic status versus achievement and health within people. So it's been shown that students with lower socioeconomic status can be up to 5 years behind the wealthier students when it comes to academic performance. So how students are performing in school, we've seen like much worse performance in those who have a lower socioeconomic status. A success rate in STEM among students with low socioeconomic status is much lower than those who come from a wealthy background. So we're much less likely to see students that of low socioeconomic status in the scientific field, the technological field, any of that. Low socioeconomic status proves twice as likely to display learning-related behavioral problems. So a lot of students that experience low socioeconomic status are much more likely to behave poorly in school. Economic stress can also affect the emotion of one person and can cause higher rates of depression. So relating this to education, students with low economic status tend to have less educational success and opportunity, which can cause performance gaps. Low educational achievement leads to lower economic prospects later on, which can cause a trend for generations. This is why sometimes we see this happening. starting generations back all the way up to the current generation of those within that lower economic area. There's a relationship between socioeconomic inequality and educational inequality. So those with lower economic status or higher economic inequality tend to experience this educational inequality where they do not have as much opportunity as those students who are wealthier. Research shows that social class is a very significant aspect of educational success. So how that student perceives themselves and the environment in which they're living, their social class, really can affect how well they succeed in the academic areas of their life. Those educational gaps can be cognitive as well as non-cognitive. We see many students struggle with self-control and learning approaches, and this carries on with them later throughout life. Research has shown that school conditions relate more to socioeconomic status differences in learning rate more than family characteristics, which makes it a problem outside of a household and in a classroom, because while it may be affected by family and other extrinsic factors, a lot of it has to do with socioeconomic status. So there are different things that are currently being done about this problem. Currently, many school districts are offering systems of comprehensive enrichment and support to all students. These programs must start at a young age. So looking in like the pre-K area in order for students to develop these cognitive and non-cognitive skills, which are needed to lessen the socioeconomic gap within school success. A huge factor to helping students with lower socioeconomic status is continuing to follow up. Students benefit much more as these programs of emotional support, nutrition, academic health continue with them throughout each grade level. So it's very important that this help and these programs don't stop after pre-K or after second, third, fourth grade, that they continue on with them. Our society benefits from efforts to reduce the deep gap in socioeconomic status. Factors that improve socioeconomic status within the classroom include a focus on improving learning as well as teaching, building a community, parental involvement, increased school and program funding, and creating an environment, an information-rich environment. So all of these things can help with a student's socioeconomic status within the classroom, outside of the household, within the classroom. When you build a community and when you get parents involved, it really contributes to that student's academic success. Socioeconomic integration. So socioeconomic school integration is a policy that is designed to improve the opportunities for students. It reduces the negative effects of poverty within the school and provides a diverse environment. And we see that across the United States, over 100 school districts and charter schools are using this socioeconomic integration strategy. These different strategies include redrawing attendance zones, admitting students to high-funded charter schools, not based on their geographic location, allowing all students to have the chance to attend a racially diverse magnet school, allowing transfer requests that will increase socioeconomic balance of schools by giving priority to the economically disadvantaged students. These are the different sources, and that's all I have on socioeconomic status within education. Thank you.